There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone. Hello everyone and welcome to SYFY Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm Sean, Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve, and tonight we'll be discussing episode 8 of season 2 of Van Helsing.
Yeah, this one was,
Minus Van Helsing.
That's true.
Van Helsing.
That's true. This was something else, though, this episode, and we'll get into it, of course, but I was surprised. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, there's some things going on here that just isn't quite right.
Yeah, well, let me see. We don't have any ratings. Have they taken a hiatus again?
Oh, I think we're just a little bit sooner than they can get it out right now.
Oh, I don't know. I'm telling you, Steve. They were slacking.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into episode 8, Big Mama. As the group struggles with the disappearance of one of its own, they accept sanctuary in a town run by its sheriff and his troops. Dimitri inches closer to achieving his darkest goal. Alright, so from this title, I was thinking we were going to get Van Helsing's mom.
Yes.
Yeah, that wasn't the case.
No.
No, and I...
wasn't even close.
Okay, and said person who was Big Mama, I'm just going to say if this has been going on for, what did they say, 3 years?
Since the Rising, yeah.
That person was pretty hefty. Like, I feel if they're scrounging for food and such, you would not really be overweight.
Right.
So, even with what they're eating, I feel like that's a bit much. Like, I don't see that happening.
I think she was probably that size before the Rising.
Alright. And in no way am I fat shaming. Please don't think that, because I'm not small. I'm just thinking it's mighty hard to gain and keep weight on if you're scrounging for food.
Right, in an apocalypse.
Yes, but I digress. Let's jump into this, because we had a lot of weird shit happening.
Oh, indeed we did.
So we have our group not eaten by ferals, thankfully.
Yes.
Because they finally wake up in the field and hey, it's sunlight. Yay. So maybe that's what's keeping them away, since the cloud cover seems to be getting a little bit less.
Right.
But Axel is dreaming of attacks before he wakes up. And, well, he kind of remembers finally that Vanessa was taken. And he remembers them saying her name. But we still don't know who this person is. And I think he's kind of kicking himself that he believed that, I'm going to just say Blackhawk, because I have no idea the difference in the helicopters, was going to be somebody that would be on their side. On the humanity side.
Right. And still may be, we just don't know.
Except if you're going to leave a bunch of people, maybe not so much.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. Very true.
He does wake up Scarlet, and apparently she is not a morning person, much like myself.
Yeah.
Because I thought she might hurt him really bad.
Yeah. Yes, he had his hands full waking up Scarlet without her coffee.
Yeah. And he finally wakes up Doc and Julius, and they're all discussing who could have taken Vanessa, which way they went. And, good lord. He's like, they weren't military, but they had training. And they went this way. End of discussion. And Scarlett's like, did they?
Yeah.
I went out after you, and let me say, no, they didn't go that way. I think he was kind of ticked. Like, no, I seen it. And I seen which way they went. And like I said, Scarlett's like, no, they didn't.
Yeah, that definitely bruised his ego a little bit.
Yeah, well, when you have to be like, end of discussion, it's like, no, just stop. Because little Miss Ninja is going to kick your ass. Okay?
Yeah.
If she was the last one that went down and seen which way they went, maybe you need to pay attention to that.
Right.
So,
And he, like I said, he just had a hard time believing that he went down before she did.
well, if she has Van Helsing blood, you never know.
That's right.
So they all pile in Wanda and head down the road, and they follow Scarlett's directions, not Axel's. Now, I'm assuming there's some mountainside or mountaintop base they're going to, because that's the last, that's the last that we got, right? That it was, I know where it is. It's on the mountain, or I don't know. And I feel like we're going to find out that the guy is actually the man who raised Scarlett.
Right.
I mean, do you agree with me on that?
I think it's a very strong possibility.
I think Scarlett will be super pissed if it is.
Yeah. I love the discussion that they have when they're looking at the map, and it says, well, from the Shell station, they don't show any Black Op hideouts.
I don't know why not. Apparently they don't have really good detailed maps. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love it, though. Then they're driving. Doc's driving Wanda, and all of a sudden there's police cars behind them. And she's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I love how, Axel's like, be cool. And Doc kind of looks at him like, we're in the frickin' apocalypse.
Yeah.
And they're pulling us over? Right. And she does say something pretty smart ass, and I love Doc for this. She's like, what was it? Damn, a black woman can't even drive in the apocalypse without getting pulled over. And I'm like, okay, that was great. She gets out, and just the look of total disgust on her face, looking at the cops like, are you serious? There's nothing happening. There's vampires running amok, and you're pulling us over?
Right.
So, I do have to say, I appreciated all the snark and sarcasm in this episode. And especially when they're talking to the sheriff who gets out, and they're like, no, we don't have our licenses, and it's not registered.
Right.
It's like, oh, God.
This is a rolling tank almost.
Right. They were like my soul animal right there, because seriously, my spirit animal.
Right.
Because that snark, that was so good. So good. I can't help it. But we have the sheriff who is, why does he look so familiar?
Because he is Tom McBeef, and he is played on several different series, but the one that I identify with him the most as he played a character called Mayborn on Stargate SG-1.
Okay.
And I didn't trust him then, and I still don't trust him. He never plays a good character.
Yeah, I like, he just looked really familiar. I'm glad you knew who he was. And I'm like, I feel like he's one of those guys that you always love to hate. So.
Yes.
He did not disappoint.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, we were so surprised to see a vehicle, we had to pull you over. Really? Why?
Yeah.
But, Axel's like, all right, let's tell him who we are, and let's do all this song and dance. Hey, we're looking for a friend. We're headed to Denver. This is Doc, Scarlett, Julius. Wait, why are you telling everybody's names?
Right.
I don't trust them.
You don't know who these
right.
cops are. They could be anybody.
No, we don't share.
Oh.
And then he's like, oh, hey, why don't you come to town? You're gonna pass it anyway. Food, water, some gas.
And the best barbecue around.
Yeah, it sounds too good to be true. And of course, when he's talking about barbecue, what am I thinking? Oh my God. All of a sudden, like, Walking Dead comes to mind.
Right.
And I'm like, don't trust them. It's like Terminus. They're gonna lure you in. Are there a lot of cars? That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah, but we did get a little bit of maybe possible information as Axel's telling them that they're trying to get above the clouds, and that's why they're heading to Denver. And the sheriff goes, oh, well, Crooked Falls is above the clouds, and it's just right there.
Right. So I'm wondering, is that where those people who are sending out the balloons were, or is that where possibly the soldiers, not soldiers, may have taken Vanessa?
Right.
But either way, above the clouds is a good thing.
Yes.
But
if we can ever get there.
Yes. See, that was my next thing. I'm like, but are we ever going to go? Because Doc never looked at that map. She just was drawing on the paper, like not thinking. So I swear when they got out of the car, though, there was another balloon that was, like, deflated on the side.
And it could be.
Like, they like, pushed in on something on the ground. And then we see Doc's foot. And I was like, is that another one of those maps? So I don't know. And I really wish that we had looked at that a little bit closer, but.
Right. Now, it was interesting that Sheriff Walt figured out that Axel was military and, of course, asked him where he served and was so impressed that tells him it'd be his honor for them to come to town.
Right. Now, do you think it was just the way he was carrying himself, or do you think it was something more? Because I got suspicious, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I didn't really see anything that Axel did that would clue me in that he's military, because he was fairly snarky, and that's not military. Now, he was polite about it, so maybe that kind of tipped him off. It sure wasn't the clothing. I mean, he wasn't wearing any military garb.
I didn't think so. That's why, I mean, just because you have really good posture doesn't mean a whole lot. I have crappy posture, so you know that I'm not military.
Right. You'd think he might have thought Julius was just because of how big he was.
Right. And that and I know this sounds very kind of old-fashioned, but they kind of stood slightly in front of the women to like take the point and to kind of protect them. But, I mean, still, that's just, I feel like personally, that's not just a military thing. That's more of just guys doing that in kind of a close-knit relationship.
Right.
So, I don't know how he knew, but.
Being honorable men.
Yeah, thank you.
Unlike the others we've,
right. Like I said, kind of old-fashioned values, but maybe we need a little bit of that. Who knows?
Yes, we do.
So, let's talk about
Yeah, they all agree that the big three is more important: food, guns, and gasoline.
And, you know, Scarlett and Axel weren't too upset about them having hot showers there. They're like, okay, maybe we can shower.
Nice.
Right. Which I'm thinking, oh God, they're going to attack them in these showers or something. I was not trusting anything this episode. I'm a horrible person.
No. I had to think, this is not going to end well, and hopefully somebody will come to the rescue.
Things happen, but not necessarily the way we want them. So they end up going to town. They follow the sheriff. He introduces them all again. And he's like, oh, one more thing before we go inside. Oh, we need to have your weapons. It's like,
yeah, that's when you say, nope, never mind. Thanks a lot. We'll see you later.
And like, that's cool. This is a really nice place. I'm going to stay out here with our weapons. Right. If you'd like to give us some water, I'm cool with that. Otherwise, maybe we need to bounce.
Right.
Because I can't believe Axel was so willing to give up his gun.
Right.
Scarlett at least kept the one little, like, dagger up her jacket sleeve, but, yeah. And even Doc knew something was up.
Right.
So, I wasn't feeling...
cautious my ass.
Right. I don't feel it. And it's like, why is it only you guys? Only, like, basically the sheriff's department. Have you not saved anybody else? Are you not keeping them around to help? Especially, you know, when they're talking about stuff inside. How the building was built to hold so many people, and there's all these beds, and I'm like, why don't we see anybody else then?
Right.
I was like, oh God, they're going to be chained up.
No, it's worse than that.
Yeah. Well, we get a little break from the crazies in town, and I'm calling them crazies because they're just, like, a little overzealous, I guess, but... Let's talk about...
Yeah, overexcited to have company.
Yeah.
Let's call it that.
Okay.
Call it that.
We'll leave it at that. All right, let's talk about Flesh and Lucky. Oh, Flesh and Lucky.
Yes. Flesh stumbles and Lucky catches him, of course, because she's so much bigger than him. It's not difficult for her. And he tells her that he has a feeling that they're going to find Mohammed being fed on by Sam.
That is horrible.
Yes, he's getting very
morose,
maudlin about finding Mohammed, and she does what she can to snap him out of it. Good slap across the face probably would have worked better.
Right. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, he's just losing all faith. And I'm worried now that this is exactly what we're going to see. Thanks a lot, Flash.
Right.
But he does thank her, at least, for being there with him.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, good. This is going to be good. They're going to find it because they hear something. And so it's like, oh, they're going to find Muhammad. And maybe they'll be the ones that take out Sam.
Right.
Which would be amazing, but
yeah.
no, that's not what we get.
No, and it was something I wasn't expecting to see this soon. But sure enough, Gab has managed to capture people from the camp from the beginning of this season.
Yes. And I don't understand him. He acts like, I don't even know how he acts. Scab is just so weird. It's almost like he is like a beaten dog where, he like bows down and scrapes to Dimitri and stuff. But he's kind of like those ones, what were they called? The ones that kind of lost all sense?
Yeah, the Ferals.
Ferals, thank you. I blanked on the word. I blanked out the world. That would be awkward. Okay, but like I can't understand how he's acting. He acts so weird, or is it just me?
No, he does act a little weird, and what I found fascinating was he actually is arguing with Dimitri during this episode, and you go, whoa, 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 whoa. You never see any of Dimitri's men question him like Scab did.
Well, I think Scab did it because he's now the leader of the sisterhood.
Yeah.
And so, all of a sudden it's like, drunk with power.
I can take you down.
Yeah. And then Dimitri essentially is by himself because all of the, I'm guessing, older family that's been with him is all dead.
Right.
So maybe
he only has a few guards left, that's for sure, and the sisterhood probably has a whole lot more people than he has. So yeah, he may have to change his perspective a little bit, and he did, because normally if somebody questioned him like Scab did in this episode, he'd have taken them out immediately.
True, but he didn't because
no,
I don't know why. Actually, I can't even say because I don't know. But
we find out that young Callie is with the group that has been captured.
That kid can't stay out of harm's way.
No. And of course, Dimitri wants one to be taken to be fed on, and Scab goes for Callie, but Dimitri stops him and tells him a bigger one, so more can eat.
Well, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, ugh, they're creeping me out. But I guess he saved Callie, so I'm going to give him that, but that's about it.
Right.
And I really thought that the older guy who was hurt, that was like by Callie, was just going to be like, take me. Because he almost looked like he was going to say something.
Yeah.
But not so much.
No.
And then, again, please tell me that I'm not hallucinating. But I thought they always, bit them and fed. But, he, cuts the guy's throat, and then instead of drinking the blood, at that cut, all these people, jump in, all these vamps, and they start biting him, everywhere else.
Right.
That seems like when the one guy died and Dimitri was going to feed on him, then he's like, oh, it's going cold, it's going bad. So why cut the guy's throat and then have everybody do it? I don't understand.
Well, I think they really want the person to be in a condition that it won't change them.
Oh, I gotcha.
Right. To be that close to being dead where they won't change into a vampire so others can feed on them.
Okay.
Because if you just bite him, well, it's going to turn into a vamp.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. The vamp's got to be a little bit careful on how they go about feeding, and I think this is probably their best way of doing it when they just want to feed, not when they need to convert.
Okay, gotcha. And poor Lucky and Flesh watching, and Flesh is like, we have to help these people. And Lucky asks him probably the same thing that we were all thinking, what about Muhammad?
Right.
And he says, these people are here in front of us. We have to help them first. So I was feeling a lot better about Flesh. I mean, not that I was feeling, iffy about him, but the fact that he's like, yes, I know we have to go after Muhammad, but we have to save these people. Kind of like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Right.
So I feel like this may be good and give him a good turn. And maybe because these are the people that were at that camp, put him in a good light with them. And maybe they won't want to try to kill him this time.
Right.
So
at least let's hope so.
Right.
You were captured for food and flesh just saved you. So maybe you might want to reconsider this vampire that's been turned back into a human being.
More human than others.
Yes.
All right, let's jump back to the town and the fortress. Like we were saying, the building was supposed to hold about 200 people, and they have generators, and they can make their own gas. It sits on a hill, so it gives them like a 10-mile radius where they can see. This is all great. And then their armory, really impressive.
Yes.
Especially,
but why would they even bother to show them the armory?
Right, that seemed like kind of dumb, especially...
To me, it seemed like, yeah, you're just trying to show off you got firepower, but people you don't know might want to rob you of that firepower.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, Axel says, hey, you know, when we leave, can we get some ammo because we're running low? And this is after he says, oh, yeah, we raided the gun shop just outside of town because when everything went to shit, we had to take care of it. And, and we had to kill people that we've known for 20 plus years, except they weren't people anymore. I mean, he had to throw that in, but he paused. I'm like, wait, did he just say he killed people?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, were they really not people? Or did you get mad and you wanted those guns? I was questioning.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, so like I was saying, after Axel asks, the sheriff's like, no, not one bullet. We'll give you a change of clothes and a full belly and a full tank of gas, but you can't have any of our weapons. But yeah, that didn't make sense. Why are you showing him? Again, I'm like, oh God, they're going to kill him. I just kept thinking that this whole episode.
Yeah, we were waiting for the shoe to drop.
Yeah. Oh, poor Axel. So apparently Axel had his hot shower and he's brushing his teeth and Scarlett comes in and is like, there's no hot water in the women's shower. So he goes, she's going around to take a shower and he's like, you know, me and your sister had to share a shower back at the hospital to save water. And she's like, yeah, no, you wish. And I'm like, whoa, okay. I don't need to see any sexy time happening. No. We can do that off screen. Thankfully, we didn't. And I know some people are probably like, no, I wanted to see them. I shipped them already. I just don't want to see any kind of forced relationship. And that's what I feel like it could have turned to, especially when I'm thinking the whole crew's going to die.
Yes.
So I'm like, please don't do that super horrible trope that we see in so many horror movies.
Yeah.
Even though this is not a horror movie, but you guys know what I mean. And I know there's shippers. I know there are. And you guys could tell me how much you want to ship them later when you email us at SYFY Talk.
So far, most of the fans seem to ship Axel and Vanessa more than anything. So, yes, I'm sure that most of them probably were not rooting for an Axel and Scarlett because that would have made things extremely awkward in the future.
Yeah, especially if he really did want to get with Vanessa. That would be weird. Yeah. But hey, Scarlett is our voice of reason this episode.
Yes.
Keep saying, yeah, I don't trust him. Axel, we need to go. Axel's like, can we eat? She's like, no, let's take our weapons. And, you know, he kind of like says, oh, don't worry, we're going to get some weapons to go. It's like, oh, okay. I didn't know we were thinking about that. All right, fine. But Axel's like, I'm starving, which, in all fairness, Axel has not eaten real food for how long?
Yeah.
You know, he's been living off of blood.
A long time. So, yeah, you have to see Axel's point that, yes, he really would like some real food. At least what he thinks may be real food.
Again, I just had all sorts of warning flags, like, going up around me.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of warning flags, we cut back to the forest where Dimitri and the prisoners are walking through, and we see Flesh and Lucky hiding behind a tree, and you're thinking, this is not going to go well.
Right?
And we just may lose the whole crew in one fell swoop here. And in one episode, everybody's dead.
I so was
Except
feeling
Vanessa.
that. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I was not the only one. Because I'm like, that's
No.
it. It's going to happen. It's going to be horrible. Who's left? But
Right.
that didn't happen. But still. So we do have Dimitri seeming to sense something. And I'm like, they're dead. They're so dead.
Right. Yes, I did too. I said, oh, he senses flesh around. And he's going to search them out before.
But he tells Scab, all right, tell them we'll stop here and rest. The humans need rest. And this is what you were talking about when they kind of start arguing.
Right. Scab just says, oh no, we should continue and rest during the day when we aren't able to move around as well.
And I was really surprised because Dimitri's like, the humans are used to resting at night. We'll rest now. And he slaps him.
Right.
And I was like, why is Dimitri doing this? Unless it's some kind of trap. I mean, what did you think? Because then, of course, Scab yells, we're going to rest. And the sisterhood's kind of looking at him like, maybe you're not the leader we thought you were.
Right.
But why do you think Dimitri did this? Or do you think it is like he can tell who's around and he thinks it's going to be somebody who leads him to Scarlet and Vanessa?
That's kind of what I was thinking is that, yeah, he sensed somebody was around and anybody that he can capture may hold a clue as to where Vanessa and Scarlet are or bring Scarlet and Vanessa to him.
Okay.
And like we discussed earlier, I think the only reason he didn't kill Scab is because of the sisterhood. There's more of the sisterhood in this party than there are
of his
any
people.
of Dimitri's old men. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's jump back to the town and the sheriff, who's like, hey, this is our cook, Big Mama, who is our dispatcher. And hey, how's dinner going? And she's like, I need meat. So Axel, sorry. I just flipped those letters all around. Axel and Scarlet agreed to help. And Scarlet's like, yeah, I grew up doing barbecue. It's totally fine. And Sheriff's like, all right. And so they go downstairs and talking about this room. It's like, oh, yeah, you know how I said about it being warm and cool? It's all this concrete. And I'm like, oh, God, he's setting them up.
Yes.
Like, as they went closer, because they're like, oh, yeah, here's the big smoker. And I'm like, oh, God, no. And, oh, we'll just go in here. Here, Axel, take these gloves. You'll need them. And he opens the freezer, and I'm just like, okay, this is happening right now.
Yeah. Now, Axel doesn't look in. It's Scarlet that kind of peeks in at first, and she goes, Axel, you might want to come see this.
And this is where I was thinking, okay, they got somebody chained up in there, or a whole bunch of somebodies, and they're going to put them in there.
I was thinking they got a dead vampire in there.
Oh, okay.
But I was even wrong.
Yeah, because a vampire comes jumping out on a chain, and Axel's like, what? What the hell is that?
Right. Are you serious? And the sheriff goes, oh, yeah. We've figured out how to cook it, and it's so good.
I was like, stop. And then they kept trying to describe it. I'm like, stop. Please stop.
Right.
And, I mean, they're like, oh, God, it's so hard. They're shocking the Pharaoh, and then they, like, nail gun it to the table. And she's like, okay, yeah. So the sheriff grabs a drill, and he's like, you gotta do this just right. I'm like, oh, my God, what is he doing?
Right. You had no idea. You know, it couldn't be good.
He's like, you don't want to drill too deep, just enough with the frontal lobe. I'm like, oh, God, stop. Please stop. And then, well, he did what he does just right, and the thing stops moving, but looks like it's still breathing.
Yeah, it did not kill it.
And I'm like, why are we doing that?
Right.
I was like really cringing, is I guess the only word I can use, 'cause as I'm looking at it, I'm almost like turning my head away watching going, oh my God, what is happening?
And it didn't help that the Pharaoh was a female.
Yeah.
That made it even worse.
And Scarlet and Axel actually kept control of their face really well. I'll tell you that, because I would not have been able to.
No, there was a pretty shocked look on my face, I'm sure, if I'd have been taping it.
Yeah.
It's like,
and
what?
Yeah, because they're like, oh yeah, we just put them in. It's like UV light. It cooks it. So great. It's great. It's like, no, I gotta tap out of this place.
Right, and Axel and Scarlett do. Nope, we're gonna pass.
And Julius has been eating beef jerky. Well, jerky, which turns out to be vampire jerky. Oh god, that was bad. Especially when they go up to tell them, it's like, we gotta go. And Doc and Julius are like, hey, they gave us a deck of cards, and she's teaching me a game, and it's so great. And they're like, we gotta go. They're cannibals. And Doc's like, do they want to eat us?
Yeah.
Like, don't move. Don't give anything away.
Right, yes. Let's very quietly and unassumingly get the fuck out of here!
Right? It was like, okay, Scooby Gang's gotta go.
Yes.
And that's when they tell Julius lay off the jerky, and he's like, stops and looks at it, because he was just saying how good it was, and I'm like, oh, it's so bad. It was rough. And yeah, and Big Mama's like, hey, I hope you guys are hungry. I made a lot of slaw.
I don't even want to know what was in that slaw.
Right. I'm thinking, okay, cabbage and mayonnaise and spices and vinegar. Did you put something else in there? Like, I don't trust anything.
I'm thinking so.
I trust nothing anymore.
No.
Ay. But before we go too far with this, because this got crazy, let's go back to Dimitri's camp when they stop, because Flesh and Lucky do manage to sneak in. I don't understand this.
Right. Well, they had a couple of guards, apparently, that were kind of just walking around the camp, keeping an eye on things. And as soon as they pass the prisoners, Flesh and Lucky make their move.
I just feel like the vampires would be faster and a little more observant and could hear them.
Yeah.
But Scab's the one who hears them, and he starts making that weird noise. What is that? It's not a scream. It's a whale call. I don't know what that is.
Right. It is. It's kind of a wailing call.
Ugh, it was
annoying, yes.
So everybody's trying to run, and, well, all the people that they were able to try to get.
Right, because they didn't get all of them.
Right. And they're like, run. And one guy who looked pretty messed up anyway was yelling at them to run, and he stops. So he's like in Scab's way. Basically, like, Scab is going to either grab him and take him back or do something horrible and kill him. And, well, he chose option number 2.
Yeah.
But he didn't even just kill him outright. He's ripped off his bottom jaw, which that would be a very slow, painful way to die.
Yes, it would.
And Dimitri stops Scab, though, from chasing him. He's like, no, it's too important. We must find Scarlet. And he does that weird yell again, and then he, like, bites the jaw that he pulled off.
Right.
I'm like, okay. This is weird. I can't with Scab. Like, they need to make him, I don't know, something. Something that isn't just creepy. He looks very like Nosferatu in like that kind of old genre. Just give him some pointed ears and he fits in there.
Right. I would love to see him and Sam go at each other.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yes.
So let's go back to the fortress, then the town, shall we? So we do have Axel and Scarlet, like, alright, they're gonna hit the armory, try to get some stuff. I feel like all these people around, you think they'd be paying attention to the 4 newbies wandering.
Yes, you would think so. But not so much.
No. And apparently, nobody's really downstairs by the weird baking vampire except Big Mama. It was so gross. She opens up and you basically see a burn victim. And, you know...
But she still is alive.
Yes.
You know, she's almost completely fried, but she's still alive. And you go, oh. And she's just adding some basting to her. And you're just...
Yeah. And Julius looks after we assume that Big Mama leaves. And the thing, because that's what it looks like now, like kind of yells and jumps at him. It's like screaming and he kills it.
Right.
And Big Mama did not take to that very well.
No, it was spoiled.
Yeah. And I'm like, you are eating people. I cannot get past you eating people.
No.
But anyway, we have Doc grabbing toilet paper in another part. It's like, hey.
She would grab toilet paper.
Hey, I guess you do what you can. Priorities, right?
Right.
And, oh, God. We have Axel and Scarlet make it out first. And I'm thinking, great. Are they all going to make it? Probably not. Why? Because...
Right. Seeing that Doc and Julius was supposed to be in Wanda waiting for them when they got there, you go, no, this is not going to end well.
Right. Especially because we find out what's happening with Julius, too. Big Mama was pissed, and she comes at him, and she ends up biting his leg. I'm like, oh, God. She went from eating vampires to going, for raw meat, I guess. And he ends up basically fighting her. Apparently, this woman's a lot tougher than she looks. Because Julius could not take her out quickly.
No, she jumped on his back, and he was trying to get her off by banging her into a concrete post.
I kept thinking it was because of eating vampire.
Could be.
I was like, oh, maybe they're not as easy to beat up now. They somehow got, some strength out of it.
Right.
Still gross, but whatever. So he does end up stabbing her. And, he goes running. When they get to Wanda, he jumps in. He's like, we need to go now. I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little too late.
Yep, afraid so, because as soon as they put it in drive, the sheriff and crew are out there shooting.
Should have just hit the gas.
Right, yes.
Just gun it. They'll move or they'll get run over.
Right, instead of letting them get close enough to shoot the tires
Right,
out.
You're just going to sit there and be like, no big deal.
Oh, we're guilty.
You've seen them eating people. You just stole from them. They're out there shooting at you. Maybe we don't stick around to see what's going on.
Right.
Just a thought. But the sheriff does ask which one gutted Big Mama. And I love it. They look at each other slowly, and then they all turn and look at Julius. And there's nothing he can say.
No, there really isn't. He just goes, oh, crap. What have I gotten this into?
And, of course, the sheriff is like, yeah, somebody's answering for this shit. You don't blame him, but at the same time, you're creepy. So, let's stop there for a minute and go back to our group escaping Dimitri. Because...
Yeah, they're all running through the forest, and one of the lady notices that Callie isn't with them. So, of course, they stop and spread out and start searching for her. Of course, Lucky tells Flesh that, all these people are scattering. He basically tells her, well, they'll save who they can. And Lucky brings up trying to find Muhammad. And he basically tells her that he's got to be gone. Either he's dead or one of them. And he needs to continue to live in the present.
Now, why do you think he's changed his tune so much at this point?
That's a really good question. I think it's probably his guilt for what he did when he became a vampire.
Okay.
That's driving him to try to save as many people as he can. And he knows Sam and Mohammed's relationship. So when Sam got him, he knew it deep down that it wasn't going to end well. That they probably wouldn't be able to catch him.
Do you think we're going to see him again?
Oh, I think we will. Yeah, Sam is not done, and I don't think Sam will turn him. I think he will have more fun, shall we say, just torturing him and tormenting him more than anything else.
Okay. See, I'm wondering if he can. I'm wondering if Vanessa's bite actually kind of preemptively is going to save him.
Right.
I guess we'll find out. So let's go back to Crazy Town.
Yeah, the next morning, Walt accuses them of stealing and killing and wants to know why they did it, even if it kills him.
Yeah, and I do assume he meant if it kills our group, not, the sheriff.
Right.
And he turns to Doc. He's like, oh, your type always gives up information easiest. It's like, what do you mean, my type?
Right.
And I'm sitting there going, all right, what exactly do you mean by that, Sheriff? I'm like, It could have been so many different things. And, she's like, okay, I have a couple words for you. And he's like, no, do it. Because she does seem the meekest out of all of them. Right. And she tells him to eat shit. And Axel thought that was funny.
Yeah, I know.
And the sheriff thinks, oh, you think it's funny? Well, I'm going to smack you with my pistol a couple times. And Axel's like, you're going to pay for that. And I'm thinking, okay, Scarlet still has her knife. And they're all zip tied behind them. Is she cutting them? And they're doing it where nobody can see it because they're back to back. And all four of them are going to get up and suddenly kick ass and take these people down. It didn't exactly happen that way.
No, it sure didn't.
No, because the sheriff is, like, all the guys there have guns on our people. All his deputies. Right. And the sheriff grabs Axel and he's like, all right, well, I'm going to make him again. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what happens. I was like getting confused.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn him into again, but like he's threatening to shoot him in the leg.
Yeah, in the kneecap.
Yes. Not good, of course, especially not in the apocalypse.
Right.
And then suddenly Scarlet does jump up because she cut her restraints, but she had looked at Julius, so I thought she had like passed the knife to him or something.
Right. No, it was more of try to cause a distraction, and all Julius could do was yell.
Right. It's like, okay, that doesn't help.
No, but Scarlet does get all the way to the sheriff and holds him by knife point to the neck.
And then grabs his gun.
You go, right. You go, okay, there's hope until you hear a big click. And you go, oh.
But see, at that point, I've been like, you take me out, you're taking him out too. All right, let's take our chances.
Yeah.
I would have really been like, let's dance.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they would have taken the sheriff out, even if it was to take out Scarlet.
Oh, no.
So.
I don't think so either.
But of course, before anything happens, Julius does jump up because they want answers. And, well, now Scarlet's the one her head's on the chopping block.
Right.
And he's like, you shouldn't kill her. Okay, thanks for that. Can you give us a little bit more? And then he did something so dumb. I was so mad at him.
Yeah, I know. And Doc even says, don't, Julius, don't.
Right.
No, that doesn't stop him.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, because you know why? We can be saved. And I'm thinking, all right, he's talking to these people and they're probably thinking like, oh, Jesus is saving me. Then he's like, because I was a vampire. And Doc's like, ugh, why?
Yeah.
The sheriff did look really confused. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, coming back from being a vampire was not anything remotely possible to the sheriff.
Yeah. And I love it because the sheriff's like, all right, I call bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, no, she has powers or something because she saved me as well. And Doc looks at Axel and's like, and him too. It's like, what? Yeah. Why are you telling them this?
And then Scarlet pipes up and says, yeah, it's true because she's seen her do it.
I love how they're saying she. They never told these people about Vanessa as far as we know.
No.
So.
Yeah, they give them their names and then don't say Vanessa's name. And it's like, well, that's probably a good thing because you wouldn't want these people finding Vanessa.
Right. But, hello? Do they even know who she is that you're talking about? Probably not.
No. Absolutely not. They have no clue that vampires have been changed back to
right.
Human.
And then Julie's like, no, I got a scar. I can prove it. And of course, one of the deputies is like, well, it's possible, right? Maybe. And the sheriff's like, yeah, whatever, maybe. And then that same deputy's like, I wonder what they taste like. The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah, their deputy Danny was a little too hungry.
Yeah. You know what? Something's wrong with you.
Yeah. He said, oh, well, let's cook them up and find out.
My God. You need to be slapped. Like, multiple times, yes. Hardcore. Oh, no. Instead, we're going to take him up to the roof and do the test. Okay, it was sunshine out, and then you're going to take him up the roof, and suddenly it's raining and dark?
Right.
How long did it take you to climb the stairs to the roof? I'm just saying. But anyway.
Yeah.
But it turns out, no, they all have nooses around their neck then. We're going to do this old school. And I love it because Scarlet's like what, the Wild West? He's like, no, more like the Salem witch trials. Oh, you mean you're dead either way? That's great.
Right. Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, throw her over. Talk about Scarlet. And then we'll see if she's not a vampire. And they're like, hello, you're going to die. And Doc's like, you would die from hanging even if you were a vampire. It would just take longer.
Right.
And I love it because they're like, oh, well, yeah, we did that one guy. He was just drunk. Oh, my God. So you just admitted that you just randomly killed somebody just because you thought maybe he could be a vampire?
Right. And then probably cooked him up and had him for
I don't
dinner.
doubt that. Not.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. These people. Okay. Get it together. Well, right before they're going to toss Scarlet over to see if she's a vampire. Makes no sense, but whatever. They hear a loud screeching, and Scarlet's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. This is not good.
Listen, Axel looks at her like, what? Now, when these people who you think are vampires, or maybe vampires, or whatever, are looking at each other like, what? And the one is seriously scared about what's out there. She's like, it's a sisterhood, and this isn't good. And I love it because she's like, they're going to kill us. They're worth like 25 of your people each one. We're so dead. We're so dead. You need to let us out of here so we can help. And then when deputies all like, Mr. Big Shot, they can't do anything. We have the advantage. Being on this,
yeah, with that big spear just piercing his chest.
Yeah, and Scarlet, and she's like, you gotta let us out of here. And the sheriff's like, oh, shut up. And she's like, yeah, I couldn't hear your deputy over the bone spear jutting out of his chest. What was it about how badass you are?
Yeah.
And they just see one woman standing there. And they're like, oh, she's small. There's no meat on her bones. We can take her. And I'm like, you guys are so stupid. That's all I kept thinking. You are so, so stupid. I'm so over you right now.
Right. And of course they come down.
Like, did they not think that there would be more? That it could be a trap? No.
Apparently not. I don't know how they've survived this long, that's for sure.
Yeah, right? Like, not very well. Or they've sent other people out to let them die. Oh, right. God, they're so stupid. And then you have creepy Deputy Danny.
Yeah.
Oh my God, seriously. And he's like, oh, it's a shame your pretty face has to go. It's like, ew.
Yeah.
Ew. Because then he says something even grosser, which, I'm not even going to bring that up here because I was grossed out.
Right. And with everything else that's going on in
the real world, yeah, let's leave that.
In the real world, we're just not going to go there.
But let's just say, had Scarlet not been tied up, Deputy Danny probably would have flew off that roof.
Oh, absolutely would have. And probably without a piece of him.
Right. But, our trio, our quad is up there on the roof with nooses, watching what's happening. And the sheriff and his, bad boys go downstairs and they're like talking smack. And, oh, look, here's another and another and another. All these sisterhoods come out from the trees. You were so screwed. And the main one there takes off her mask and just looks, and it's the one that was with Dimitri's group, the same one that pledged loyalty to Scap.
Right. So you go, oh, crap. Dimitri's already found Scarlet.
And I'm not feeling really good about the fact that if he's there, Julius is really super screwed.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't know how they're going to get out of this.
Right.
I guess
And Dimitri's not real happy with Doc either. The only one he doesn't know is Axel.
Oh, that's true. Wait, he knows Doc? I don't remember him knowing her.
Well, no, I think it was Julius's people who tried to change Doc back.
Okay.
Not Dimitri. So, yeah, Dimitri probably doesn't know.
Okay. But still, he knows Scarlet, and that's all he wants to know.
Yeah. And what he's got planned for her can't be anything
No. Good.
And you keep going, come on, Vanessa, where are you?
Well, I want to know why he was all, oh, we have to find Scarlet. Why are you suddenly off the Vanessa bandwagon? What do you know?
Well, I think he's thinking if he can capture one of them, that'll bring Vanessa to him, but he doesn't know that they're separated at this point.
Right. That's why I thought that was weird that he said it that way.
Right. And yeah, I'm not sure what's going on in his demented mind that has got him focused on Scarlet right now, but maybe it's because he doesn't think that she has actually tasted blood yet like Vanessa has.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll find out in upcoming episodes, I think. I hope. All right.
Next episode's called Wakey Wakey, so I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds not good. But, all right, everyone, please rate and review us on iTunes and every other form you're finding us on, because good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us. Tell your friends about the show, and we do hope you're enjoying our podcast. For those who did rate and review us, we do appreciate it, because we did get a few ratings, like 5. And so totally appreciate that. Thank you guys. And if you want to share your theories, your ships, anything, write us at SYFY Talk at fangirlzone.com. And maybe if it's like a crazy enough theory, I will send you something out of our giant prize box, because we like sharing like crazy theories. And if you have fanfic and you're shipping somebody, our resident fanfic I'm like, is that a word? Jess, who is out currently because she had a wee babe. She loves reading all the fanfic, and she will come back and talk about it when she comes back from her leave. So you can send her something at jess@fangirlzone.com. So please write us and share your thoughts, because this has been crazy, and I want to know if I'm the only person who hates the weird vampire sounds. I don't know. I might be. But anyway, for this episode of SYFY Talk, I am Sean, Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve. Even in an apocalypse, a sister can't drive a car without getting pulled over by 5-0.
And until next time.